I guess, initial thoughts on Brokeback Mountain. I mean, should we summarize
This ain't no kind of life we got here, and it's all we have is Brokeback Mountain.
All we have is Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. Had never seen it before.
I had also never seen it.
Knew it was a story about some gay cowboys. I think that's what everyone knows.
Here's what struck me.
It's a gay cowboy movie.
Yes, it's a gay cowboy movie. I knew
what
that
I didn't
about
know
that much
was
going on.
just how gay these
starring
cowboys
Jake
were.
Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. Yes, first of all, I was blown away right off the bat. First of all, I thought this was like a slow burn sort of thing.
Yeah. You see, I assumed, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have assumed this, but I assumed it would be like a slow discovery of their feelings, like their sexuality towards one another.
It's about 20 minutes in when Jake Gyllenhaal.
These guys know they're gay. They know how to be gay, and they get to be gay and get being gay right away.
So what happens is Heath Ledger is out in the cold, sleeping out in the cold.
Yeah, they're sheep. They're sheep herders.
They're shepherds.
A couple of shepherds.
In the mountains. This takes place in Wyoming?
Yeah. A lot of the place takes place in Wyoming, a place called Brokeback Mountain.
Right. It's cold one night. Jake Gyllenhaal says, "You get your ass in here, into this tent."
Come on into this tent.
They're sleeping. So right off the bat, spoiler alert.
You gotta do justice for how cold it is. It is so cold in this mountain that Heath Ledger is like shouting as he shivers because he's just like shaking so much. So
right.
Jake Gyllenhaal says, "You know what? Yo, Ennis, get on in here. You're waking me. Like,
right.
Just don't be silly. Come on, sleep. Share the tent. It'll be warmer."
Right.
So they get in the tent.
They're sleeping.
And seemingly in sleep.
Jake Gyllenhaal turns over and grabs Heath Ledger's hand.
Like, could have been sleeping, like it could have been like a thing done in sleep. You're not sure. Then they wake up and
grabs his hand and puts it over him and kind of kind of makes him grab his penis.
Well, they're cuddling each other.
Right.
Spooning. And then they sort of wake up startled that, I don't think they realized that they were spooning quite that much. Then they wake up and they're like about to come to blows. They're like, they grab each other by the shirt and they're like looking each other in the eyes, and then something just clicks and they know.
I think Heath Ledger seems a little dazed. He just kind of got woken up and doesn't really know what's going on. He's a little confused, but a little bit like, I don't know what this is, but I like it. And they have a sex scene. Heath Ledger.
Yeah. So then they just have like raw fucking unlubricated anal sex.
I actually checked the time.
In a tent in the woods.
I think it was 27 minutes or 28 minutes. Jake Gyllenhaal is on all fours. Heath Ledger is spitting in his hand. First of all, like he's done this before.
Yeah, that was my question. It seemed like Jake Gyllenhaal had done it before, I think.
Yeah, it seemed like Jake Gyllenhaal was more gay. And he kind of...
we don't want to be disrespectful. I mean, forgive us if we say
we're reviewing Brokeback Mountain here today.
Yeah.
Let's right in advance, right before there's backlash, I want to say I'm sorry. All right, I was ignorant, and I am about to be pretty ignorant.
It's on us.
Listen, I'll take full responsibility
for whatever you have to say that we say.
My deepest and humblest apologies to whoever
genuinely
whoever was hurt.
But yeah, so
we will be donating.
This movie, they're not. This isn't a movie about two people really falling in. Like, you don't see them slowly fall in love. You don't see the relationship build. It's pretty immediate that because that's not really just what it's about. It's more about the years that pass. But it's pretty immediate. We don't really get much information except these guys have animalistic urges towards one another. They have some sort of chemistry that's out of this world.
That was the other part about this movie is how fast time moves.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I noticed. It seems as if like years fly by like in a second. Like, they'll have one scene together, and then it's Heath Ledger will walk off into you don't even know that any time has passed, and all of a sudden he has like a wife and child. And now all of a sudden he has like 3 children.
Yeah,
and the children age quite quickly. And I think it was a story about just regret and living with regret and how regret can stay with you for your entire life. It wasn't really about. I thought it was about like a fixed period of time. Like on a ranch that these two guys had a steamy. That's what I thought it would be our summer on the ranch where I met Ennis. But it's more about
a much longer love story.
Yeah, it's more about a life of It's requited love, but it's not fulfilled love as.
It's unfulfilled love, but it's also just not following your love because of other people's expectations and stuff. Because at the very end, he has his daughter and is like getting married. It's a really I It was a sweet movie.
It's a good movie, and I think Heath Ledger is just out of this world phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's like a completely different person the way he's talking.
You know what was pretty gross? Jake Gyllenhaal butt naked doing laundry in boots by the river. Do you know this scene? This shot I'm talking about? Him like squatting by the river butt naked.
There's a lot of them naked people. I think that's I don't really remember like Brokeback Mountain being in theaters. I think I was too young, but I'm sure this was like a hit with the ladies. You know?
Brokeback? It's probably
Jake Gyllenhaal
groundbreaking for the
Heath
time.
Ledger is probably like like 50 Shades of Grey crowd, like the mothers.
But you know what was cool about these gay cowboys though is they were still cowboys at the end of the day. They were doing it raw, with like hardly any spit on his hand. Yeah. Like in the dirt after days and weeks of sheeping, shepherding sheep.
They've barely spoken by that point too, because Heath Ledger's like a weirdo who doesn't talk really.
Yeah, just like on horses all day.
Heath Ledger says some sentence about like some brief story about his like how his siblings raised him, and then Jake Gyllenhaal's like, "Annis, that's the most you've said in this whole month I've been with you," and it's like, "Yeah, that's more than I've said in a year." It's just like two very. It's sweet. It is very sweet. You're right.
You know what's funny is, or another scene that I'm thinking of is like when Heath Ledger's married with a wife, and then Jake Gyllenhaal comes to visit him for the first time. First of all, Jake Gyllenhaal plays a character called Jack Twist.
Jack Twist is the guy's name,
which is a crazy name, and they say it so much in this movie.
Yeah, so we should be trying to like summarize it again, like we did last time.
So
they had sex. Then what happens?
Oh yeah, so that's pretty immediate, which I thought was going to be at the end. Then it's kind of a time jump, right?
Yeah, well, they spend some time the first trip, like I think several months together they spend.
Right.
So they really get to know each other, and then at the end it's like, they're like, what are we gonna do? They're like, and then Heath Ledger's just like, well, I guess I'll see you around then. And then he's pretty cold. Heath Ledger's pretty cold in this movie towards Jack Twist.
He then goes and becomes a rodeo. Or no, that's what Jake Gyllenhaal does. Or no, both of them.
No, I think just Gyllenhaal does rodeo, but
what did Heath Ledger go off and do?
Different cowboy stuff.
Just other cowboy
but
stuff.
There's a scene when they first separate the first
time.
time.
He went to Texas. That's what happened.
Jake
Gyllenhaal moved to Texas.
But there's this instant moment when they first separate the first time, and Heath Ledger's walking away, and he's like, he's been pretty cold. But then the moment he's like alone, when Jack Twist has gone back to Texas, he just fucking breaks down and is like punching like a barn wall, like howling, crying, like howling, crying.
I mean, could you imagine?
Just the passion these cowboys feel for
when did this take place? Also, this was the
1960s.
60s. Well, I guess it's over a couple decades.
And Heath Ledger mentions on several occasions that he's seen homosexuals during this time in these communities. It appears from the film were often lynched and murdered horribly,
beat to death and stuff. And that happens to Jake Gyllenhaal later in the movie.
Later on, yeah. Yeah, and then it's sort of hard to summarize even in any more detail because it truly is just like years pass so quickly.
So Heath Ledger has a wife and daughters. And
the
wife catches him almost immediately. So that's the scene I was explaining before.
So the first time, so Heath Ledger has a wife, right? And it's like I think 4 years must pass because he has 2 kids.
He's two daughters.
So like several years pass very quickly, and then he gets a letter from Jack Twist. It's like, Ennis, meet me at Brokeback Mountain, Jack Twist. And then Ennis writes back, you bet. That was funny. So then he comes to visit, but as you were saying, and then she catches him right away.
Yeah, as soon as they embrace, they pretty much start making out right away, and the wife is just watching it all, and she's
horrified.
They have little regard for being seen.
Heath Ledger makes out with Jake Gyllenhaal for a couple minutes, and then storms into his house with his wife and children as if he's on cocaine,
right?
Packing a bag.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm leaving. I'm going with Jack Twist.
I'm going with Jack Twist. We're going hunting and fishing.
Going hunting fishing. When me and Jackie get to talking, we might not be back until tomorrow morning.
So now they, according to both of their wife, as far as they think their wives know, they're just hunting and fishing buddies.
Ennis doesn't know for many years, it seems, that that his wife knows that he's gay.
Right, and the wife just keeps it bottled up and whatever. She knows the whole time, but
she really gets bottled up.
That takes a toll, and they get a divorce.
That's Carey Mulligan, I think. She was
good in that. Yeah, she was good in this movie.
Anne Hathaway, who's Jake Gyllenhaal's wife.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not quite as meaty of a role, but I mean, I wasn't as impressed as I was with Carey Mulligan.
Yeah, but it felt like a kind of a good role for Anne Hathaway to be in that. I mean, actually, maybe someone else would have been better.
It's kind of a bland role.
It's kind of a bland role, and
that's why it doesn't seem to. It's unclear. I think when later on, I won't get too ahead of myself. I think later on she knows, but it doesn't seem that during their marriage that she ever actually knows that Jake Gyllenhaal's gay.
Right, but he marries Anne Hathaway. Jake Gyllenhaal marries Anne Hathaway
after toiling in the rodeo for several years.
Has a son with her.
He marries wealthy.
Who is the daughter of a wealthy tractor salesman?
Tractor tycoon.
A tractor tycoon, yeah.
So then Jake Gyllenhaal's sort of set up. His wardrobe really changes from then on out. The rest of the film, he's wearing like a sequin jacket. He's got like cool jackets and shit.
Now he's a salesman. He sells tractors.
Yeah, he's got a sick mustache.
Yeah.
He's got a sick mustache, and Heath has like these weird like they're like sideburns kind of, but they're like really thin and short. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I was going through my notes on this. I was just remembered a quote. He says, "This is a goddamn bitch of an unsatisfactory situation," and I thought that was funny.
You know what's a funny part also that I forgot to mention when they're like their first time together when they're in the mountains, they just these fellas just hate beans. They fucking.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bean. Thrown, the language about beans thrown around.
They basically get in a fist fight over how sick they are.
No more beans. He's like, we don't like beans.
Oh, there's a bear attack. Heath Ledger gets attacked by a bear. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
And then he's late, and then Jack Twist, when he gets back, he's like, "Damn, I come back from watching the sheep all day, and there ain't nothing here to eat but beans."
I think they really want to emphasize just how many beans these people were eating.
All right, so they're both married. Eventually, Heath Ledger's marriage ends in divorce.
Because she knows that he's gay the whole time.
Yeah, but even through the divorce, she doesn't reveal that to him. She doesn't reveal that to him until after she's remarried.
Anyway, years go by. Holding in all these secrets sort of tear everybody apart. And
families are broken. Hearts are torn.
Hearts are torn. Then we find out he gets a call, or Heath Ledger gets a call that Jake Gyllenhaal is dead.
No, you're going way too fast. So they continue to meet, for decades, really, like 20 years. They'll just like meet.
You're right. I missed some stuff.
Like 20 years, they'll just meet basically once or twice a year on these fishing trips.
Right.
But really,
it's them going to a motel and just.
I don't even think it's a motel. I think they're going back to Brokeback Mountain.
No, there was a scene where they just they were going on a fishing trip. They just went to a motel.
I think the first time Jake Gyllenhaal comes like unexpectedly, and it's like we're going to get a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but every time they say fishing trip, I think they go fishing. I think they do like the outdoor stuff. These guys.
But I don't think they went fishing because she said.
I know they didn't go fishing, but they're in the mountains and
they're just camping.
There's talk of hunting and stuff. I think they're like. He's like, we can, because later on, so basically it becomes too much for Jake Gyllenhaal's character. It's not enough for him.
Right.
He wants more. Jake Gyllenhaal I think would marry this Ennis guy.
See, Jake Gyllenhaal needs more than a couple high altitude fucks a year.
Damn it, Ennis, I ain't like you. I can't get by on just a couple of high altitude fucks a year.
Yeah, he needs it.
He goes down to it. Listen, he let's be honest. He's crossed the border to Mexico on a few lonely nights.
Damn it, I have been to Mexico.
God damn it, I have been to Mexico. And then there's a breaking point really when Heath Ledger sort of the meetings have become more and more infrequent. He's canceling meetings. He's just committed to his cowboy.
Do you know what child support is?
You don't go and forgot what it's like to be broke all the time. I got to work, guys. Man,
all we have is Brokeback Mountain.
Yes. Then he tells him, they have a beautiful week together, fishing trip.
Right.
And at the end, he's like, I mean to tell you, Jack, I reckon I won't be able to make it back up here till November. And he's like, well, what the hell happened to August?
Right. What the hell happened to August?
And then basically this is the last time they'll ever see each other. But in the argument, they say, Jake Gyllenhaal says, we could have had a life together. If only we could have these lives we've lived apart. We could have been together.
And Jake Gyllenhaal utters the famous, "God damn it, I wish I knew how to quit you."
As he's staring off into a river.
Just like just the Rocky Mountains in the background.
It is a beautiful.
It's a beautiful movie. I mean, Wyoming. It's all like, it's gorgeous out there.
Yeah, and then, so then he thinks they're meeting in November, Heath Ledger, but unfortunately he gets a letter back, the letter he wrote, and it says, the recipient of this letter is deceased.
It says deceased. Yeah.
And he calls Anne Hathaway, the wife, and learns she claims that it was her explanation was fucking bizarre.
Was that he was pumping up a tire
and put so much air in the tire it exploded.
It exploded and hit him in the face. Shattered every bone in his face. Shattered every bone in his face.
And choked on his own blood.
Yeah. On the side of the, he drowned in his own blood on the side of the road.
But I think it's revealed through
it's heavily implied to the point where it's pretty much said.
Yeah, it is sort of like Heath Ledger's imagination, what the images we see, I think. But I think he's right, probably.
But yeah,
that he was actually Jake Gyllenhaal was murdered by a renegade band of homophobes.
Right, because I guess Jake Gyllenhaal was more actively gay than Heath Ledger, I think.
I mean, he definitely was less committed to hiding. He was less, conservative with his sexuality.
He was hitting on the people at the rodeo.
Oh yeah, there's scenes where Jake Gyllenhaal's at bars trying to hit on men.
Isn't that why he went to Mexico too?
Yeah. That was for hookers.
Oh right.
But he does put himself out there with guys at bars.
Yeah.
That's a sad scene.
It's a sad scene.
And then, but there's the other guy. There's a guy from Stranger Things too. Is it another husband who asks him? Right. He's gay too. He's like, I'd love to go up to Brokeback with you. And I think he does go. I think it's revealed that he does go with him.
I don't remember that.
Whatever. I think the mother. So whatever. We should finish this up because the way we're talking is hard to follow. So let's finish up this section. So, and then he calls and Anne Hathaway says he always talked about having his ashes scattered at a place called Brokeback Mountain. That she doesn't know she doesn't know the significance of.
And he says, "I'd be happy to take the ashes up to Brokeback."
And he goes to Jack's parents' house.
Right. At his parents'
sees his childhood bedroom, meets his parents, takes a nice jacket. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, he isn't given the ashes, but
his father's like, "Oh, he's going to be buried in the family plot."
Yeah, another interesting thing. It seems like their parents knew. I got the sense
his parents knew he was gay too.
Yeah,
I got the
sense. Especially when the mother's like, it's very interesting to think about who knew, who knows, but hasn't revealed they know, who has revealed they know. It's a lot.
It also feels like the mother knows and is cool with it, and the father knows and is not cool with it, kind of thing.
But he was still a father to him. He wants him, and he still loves him.
Right. It's all very complicated.
He has more hostility towards Ennis.
The social, stigma for being gay in Wyoming in the '60s, I suppose, was just.
This is 1965, Brokeback Mountain, Wyoming. This is a.
But imagine being just in the mountains on horseback with just another dude. You're cuddling.
Yeah, I mean,
God, it's just so.
They also fight
sensual.
A lot. They fight a lot in this movie. It was interesting how much they physically fought.
There was a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah, but sometimes they punch each other in the face. They have fist fights.
Oh yeah, that was part of it. Yeah. That's at the end. He punches him and he has blood on his sleeve, and then he gets the jacket and it had blood on his. It was the same jacket that he wore when he punched him.
Intense, man.
Yeah.
It was an intense love.
And he keeps the jacket and he smells it.
I think Heath Ledger is by far the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I think they both did a good job. You're right. I like Heath Ledger way better. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's so he's like a threatening guy. He's very big in this movie. He's menacing sort of. He's physically imposing, but he's so something is and he's very gruff. He's reserved, but something in his face. He's such a sweetness and innocence to him too.
And especially the gay sex scenes, I felt were very believable, very tenderly.
There's only like really one sex scene between the two of them.
You're right.
That's the first.
But even just the
gets
kissing,
the point across.
just the kissing and the touching and the way he acts around Jake Gyllenhaal was very. It was like, wow, he's really. This is believable.
The way these men act like as if they're like getting intoxicated. Like there's scenes where they'll just be like
they're intoxicated by
touching each other's face, like trembling,
right,
with desire for
with desire. Yeah,
it's just palpable. How badly these cowboys want to fuck.
It really is. Right from the get-go. Right from the get-go, you're like, oh my god, this is sexy as hell.
And I think that's what I liked the most, because I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would be like it would be like Call Me by Your Name, where it's like a slow seduction.
Right.
You see like them doubting themselves, but it was really just about their entire lifetimes. I didn't know it took place over so much time. It
was a very long story. You don't really see movies like that too much anymore.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the way time passed in this movie.
It was like good. It jumped when it needed to.
Who else is it? A lot of people like show up, like Linda Cardellini dates Heath Ledger's character at one point, and I think she wants to marry him, but
oh right, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of it just seems tough living being a closeted gay cowboy.
If there's any thesis to take away from this film, it's that being a gay cowboy in Montana in the 60s was a rough lot to get in life.
So it seems like we have a lot of respect for the movie. Did we enjoy the actual physical act of watching it?
Oh, well, tell me what you think it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay. I know it. We should look into what Oscars it actually won, but I know it was nominated for some Oscars, so that would lead me to believe it's high. I'm sure it had its detractors. I don't think it's like a 99% situation. I'm sure it has its naysayers, but I think it's going to be pretty high. I think it's going to be above 80, but I don't think it's crossed 90. I think I'm going to guess somewhere between 80 and 90, and I'll say 86%.
Dude, we're looking at an 87.
97.
87.
Oh, 87. So that was perfect guess because I can't go over.
Right. 1% off. I want to see what awards this movie won.
I would hope Heath Ledger was at least nominated because both of them should be nominated. Maybe, I don't know. Jake Gyllenhaal was really good, but it was Jake Gyllenhaal the whole time. It was like, yeah, this is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Let's go Oscars, right? Yeah. It's giving me every award. I'm like, Oscars. This one Best Adapted Screenplay.
Nice. So it's based off a short story by Annie Proulx, but the screenplay itself was actually adapted by Larry McMurtry, who himself is a very accomplished novelist. He wrote Lonesome Dove and All My Friends Are Going to Be Strangers, which is a favorite of mine. But so you have a celebrated short story, but the screenplay being adapted by a celebrated novelist. So this is a very good, well-written piece, I think.
Did you read the short story?
I haven't read it, but I imagine it's quite sensual.
Yeah, I wonder.
Probably pretty steamy up on Brokeback.
It's also won Best Director.
Oh, really? Aang Lee. So
yeah,
Aang Lee
2006.
He's made films such as The Hulk, the first Hulk movie, which I don't think anyone has ever seen. He made Life of Pi. He's sort of got an interesting filmography.
Yeah. This also won Best Score.
The music was nice. It had nice music. I don't really recall it.
It was I do remember the music. It was like guitar, really like kind of steel guitar sounds. Or maybe just regular guitar, but they kind of sounded very westerny.
Yeah, it had a distinctness.
Yeah, but they would do that a lot. They would do that same sort of strumming. I don't know. It was. I kind of did not like the music in this movie.
Really?
It was like fine and mostly not noticeable, which is good. But there was a few points where I'm like, they're kind of like using the same sounds over and over again. It was like, I don't know. It felt like I did notice. Those were the only three things it won. It got nominated for like Best Picture, Actor, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, Cinematography. So Best Actor, Heath Ledger. Best Supporting Actor, Jake Gyllenhaal. Best Supporting Actress, Michelle Williams.
Oh, it's Michelle Williams, not Carey Mulligan.
And Best Cinematography, Rodrigo Perito.
Fair enough. Yeah. Going off what you said about the music, it sort of feels like the same. There is certainly when you watch in the experience of watching it, it is like it does like it does drag. But I don't mean that as like a criticism because it feels off. It all feels like so of one moment. You know what I mean? This feels like one moment in time. The mood is so consistent and their energy is so consistent, but it's just like jarring because it takes place over such a long time. Yeah. But it feels like one moment in these guys' lives that just is spread over a lifetime. And
I wouldn't have thought this was such a long, stretched journey. Like it kind of, even the trailer or whatever. Like,
yeah, I did not watch.
They kind of look the same. They kind of aged. They try to age Heath Ledger a little bit. Give him some bags under his eyes and stuff. Yeah, but it didn't look great. The makeup, it was okay, not great.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't really notice the age and makeup, but yeah. But anyway, none of the actors won or anything.
No, the only winners were Best Director and Best.
What year did this come out?
This was the 2006 Oscars, so probably
2005.
Yeah, I'm sure it says it somewhere here. Let me just go back. 2005, yeah.
So we recommend this movie, I think.
Here's the thing: if you never saw it,
it's something it's worth watching.
It's worth a watch.
What mood should you be in when you're watching?
Yeah, that's the question. It's not something to watch with. It doesn't feel like something you watch with a group of people.
Maybe with one other person.
If you're just like really want to watch this movie. I watched it at early in the morning. That kind of felt appropriate. Like it was sort of a daytime movie. Like I guess like you could watch it at, I don't know.
I watched it hella late at night, and didn't finish. Finished it the next morning. Had like 45 minutes left the next morning. So I had it in two sections, and it was. Yeah, I mean, so it wasn't as I don't know. I was just tired. It wasn't like I turned it off because I didn't like it, but.
Right.
Yeah, it is sort of it's not a popcorn movie. It's not an exciting,
Popcorn movie, that's good. Yeah, it's not a popcorn movie. It's something like, but it's also not. I'm trying to equate it to like other types of movies, like I would say similar to like Titanic in the like when are you gonna watch that? You could watch it the same thing, but not even
something to watch. It's not a. There's no like reuse factor with it. I don't think I ever need to watch it again.
Oh yeah, certainly not.
So it's like when you're recommending watching someone stream. I mean, it's not
it's on Amazon Prime.
I wouldn't like give a glowing like you sit down tonight. You go home. You sit down and you watch Brokeback Mountain because it's really not. I can't recommend it that highly, but I think
you go home. Listen, you go home and you watch Brokeback Mountain.
I think it's worth watching if you have any interest in it. It's worth watching. It's a good movie.
It's not going to be honestly. I mean, obviously, it got nominated for a bunch of Oscars. It won 3, including Best Director. It's a good movie. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie. The story is pretty. It's well done. I don't know if. Yeah, I can't like tell everyone to go watch it, but
it's a tough. We should have some sort of metric.
Yeah,
like a rating system. We should rate all these movies.
Oh, okay. So just go.
What's
0
our
to
rating
10.
system though?
Just. I want to go 5 stars. Do you want to do stars or thumbs up, or we could do out of 10, out of 100 letter grades. I'm kind of into like doing stars. On Letterboxd, it's like stars, or you could do like likes or you'd like it.
Yeah,
or
we
don't.
should do a like. Like we should say like, did we like?
I gave this a like.
We endorsed this. Like I think the movie we talked about last week, The Little Things. I didn't give it a like. I can't fathom who I would ever tell to watch that.
Yeah.
So we don't endorse that. We endorse this, but it's I would give it maybe a 3.75 stars out of 5. And I would say you have to be in the right mood. You have to want to watch it.
You have to really be in the right mood. Also, if you put it in its time in 2005, I bet it's better.
Yeah, it's better. It's more shocking.
Yeah.
I don't know if shocking is the appropriate.
Or it's just more like a brave storytelling that you kind of have to respect.
Something many people at that time hadn't seen before. I mean,
and just
still,
done so
to
well.
this day. I mean,
Yeah.
A story like this about two characters like this, and isn't something you see all the time. Yeah, so we both liked it.
Should we just do our 3x3s?
What's your rating?
Oh, I would say I would give it a like. I endorse it. Out of 5 stars, yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.7, 3.6. I'll give it a 3.6.
Okay, a little lower.
It's because honestly, like anything 4 or up is like that has to be so good, like become instant favorite. It was like
so
not
a 4 is like I can put this on any night,
right,
and I'll be entertained. I honestly will never watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with someone who wants to. I won't be upset if I have to watch it again.
Right.
But I'll never seek it out.
Yeah, and I'll probably always be like, yeah, that was a good movie if someone asked.
Yeah. Well, for the sake of the record, let's go. What would you have given The Little Things? I would say.
I'd give that like 1.7.
I'd go 2.25.
Okay.
Okay. What's your favorite Heath Ledger performance?
Favorite Heath Ledger performance has. I mean, this is probably lame to say and is pretty obvious, but the Joker was like, come on, unbeatable.
That's mine as well. It's sort of been well documented how that's a good performance. But
I liked him in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, I haven't seen 2. I was thinking about it. It's like I was thinking about it when I was watching Brokeback. I said obviously I love the Joker, and I've seen he's good in 10 Things I Hate About You as like a heartthrob. What else has he even been in? But when I was watching this movie, I was also saddened to think, man, this guy was such a good actor. Like he had so many more movies in him. Yeah,
it sucks. I'm glad he was able to do the Joker before he died.
The Joker is like it's a completely different person from this character in this movie. Like,
yeah, it's
shocking how much he transforms.
He was able to really embody these different characters. It's really cool.
What's your favorite Jake Gyllenhaal? Well, let's.
Yeah, I'm opening up the IMDb.
Yeah, read through his IMDb. I think
of Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
Heath Ledger.
What was the last thing he did, Joker?
A Knight's Tale.
That's after Dark Knight.
That was 2001. After Dark Knight. Dark Knight was the last thing he did.
What was before that?
Brokeback was 2005.
Here, I'll do it.
Oh, should I just do see all filmography?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Not There. Candy. Casanova.
I'll do it.
Brokeback Mountain.
Some of them are.
The Brothers Grimm. I haven't seen any of these movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the ones you named either. I guess I don't need to hold it, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those either. So his last film listed is a 2009 release called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. I feel like I've heard that before, but I have no idea what that is.
I have no clue.
Dark Knight, great. I'm Not There is a Bob Dylan movie, but several people play Bob Dylan, including a woman. It's kind of weird. It's like the different aspects of Bob Dylan.
That is weird.
Candy, Casanova, Brokeback Mountain, Brothers Grimm, Lords of Dogtown, The Order, Ned Kelly, The Four Feathers, Monsters Ball, A Knight's Tale, He's good in The Patriot. The Patriot's a good movie. I remember we watched that in school.
Did we? It's like I didn't watch that.
Yeah, I don't think you were in my class. But Mel Gibson. Yeah, so those are the only 3 movies of his I've seen. 4 if you count The Patriot. But it's Mel Gibson in the Revolutionary War, who's like a killing redcoats, you know.
Yeah, you kind of wish you could see more movies from.
Yeah, it's a real shame that he died, obviously. What about Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal, let's see what.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Spider-Man.
on the other hand, shows you what it's like when someone lives too long. When someone keeps going for too long.
He was in Homecoming. He played
Yeah, how was he in that?
Mysterio. He was sucked. I mean, it was like he was fine. Wasn't he Green Lantern? Oh no, that was Ryan Reynolds.
That wasn't Ryan Reynolds. Oh, Green Lantern. I was thinking Green Goblin. He was the Prince of Persia.
Oh yeah.
How was he in Spider-Man though?
He was okay, but it was it's hard to judge. Like how well can you be in Spider-Man? Like he did the role. I guess he was Mysterio. I don't know if I really was digging Mysterio as a villain. in that
Well, I
movie.
don't even really know what Mysterio does.
I don't even remember what he's doing, but
Does he have superpowers?
he's trying to be. I think he's like a con man. I don't know.
He's just a really good con man.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Jake Gyllenhaal's done so many things.
Read through some whatever.
I'll name out the ones that I've seen. Do you see Nocturnal Animals?
I did. Weird movie.
He was in Southpaw.
That was pretty good. I thought good for what it was. Enjoyable boxing movie.
Okay, I never saw it. Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler might be my favorite performance of his. I love that movie.
Oh, really?
Have you seen that?
I have not seen Nightcrawler.
That's
actually.
something we should watch.
We should watch that.
Movie.
Did you see Source Code?
I did see Source Code. Did you?
Yeah, I saw it.
Bizarre.
The train.
Yeah, bizarre that what it ends up being, the explanation, but pretty, fine action movie.
He was in. Let's see, Zodiac.
Zodiac, I have not seen, but love David Fincher.
Brokeback, 2005.
He's in the movie Prisoners, which I love.
All right, now we're going pre Brokeback.
Have you seen Prisoners?
I've not. Oh, I did not see Prisoners, but I passed it. October Sky. Did you see that?
I believe so. That's like That's like in the
1999.
I think he's that's about like rockets, like beating Russia in the rocket race, like Sputnik shit.
So he did that. He was in Bubble Boy in 2001.
Have not seen.
Me either. A few other things. The Day After Tomorrow.
Haven't seen, but I know what it is.
And then Brokeback.
What comes after Brokeback?
Right after Brokeback, he did a movie called Proof, 2005.
Haven't seen it.
Then Jarhead. Did you see Jarhead?
No, did you?
No, I saw a trailer though.
Keep going.
Then Zodiac, then Rendition, then Brothers.
Yeah, Brothers is actually a great movie. You seen that?
Brothers? No, I haven't seen Brothers.
Let me pitch it for you. Tobey Maguire is it?
Oh, I know what this movie is.
It's a really good movie.
I've not seen it though, but yeah,
it might be kind of goofy. Actually, I need to rewatch it. But
that's a good movie we should watch. But I do remember there's a scene Tobey Maguire's like flipping out hard.
Tobey Maguire goes to it's thought to be dead, but he as a prisoner of war, but they find him and he comes back after being in prison camp for several years, and he's has PTSD crazy. He's going nuts with PTSD. And you starts to suspect that his brother, Jake Gyllenhaal, has been having an affair with his wife, and it's a whole thing. But he's just losing his mind.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Toby, man.
Toby's also just was played by was in Molly's Game.
Yeah.
Played by what's his name, Michael Cera. Yeah.
What's after Brothers?
Love and Other Drugs. Source Code was in 2000.
Yeah, and he's in Anne Hathaway. Both him and Anne Hathaway are both in that. Yeah.
Prince of Persia, then Love and Other Drugs, then Source Code. Prisoners was after that.
Prisoners, great movie.
Nightcrawler, Southpaw. He's done a lot of stuff.
Movie Enemy.
I think there's still a role. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen enough of his stuff, but it feels like there's a role that. You kind of want to. He needs a role that's like Jake Gyllenhaal is just this role. It feels like he's very replaceable in any role he's in. I think
the most defining role for me is Nightcrawler. He's just
maybe I should watch that.
On fire in that movie. But yeah, two good actors. What did you not like about this movie?
There was almost something lost in that it was so long. The time spans were so long that it felt like it was such a slow boiling of this relationship, and then he just dies. It's kind of
I think that's sort of the pain of it,
right?
There's no ending. Life just ends. You die.
You just get beaten to death because you're gay.
All right, top threes.
I would say top three gay characters is probably a good one. I can name some gay characters.
Okay, we'll do a top three gay characters.
All right, let's try it. I mean, Dumbledore.
So, does it have to be Jude Law Dumbledore?
I think it's implied that Dumbledore was always gay.
Sure, so it can be the older...
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen is Dumbledore?
Or maybe I'm no. Actually, he wasn't. He was in Lord of the Rings. He was Gandalf.
Harrison Ford. No, I'm sorry. That's Star Wars. So Dumbledore's your number 3.
Dumbledore is, in terms of gay characters, I mean,
he's
hard to order it, but sure.
Who's accomplished more as a gay man than
a wizard?
The most powerful wizard
of one of the most powerful
of our generation.
Like the head wizard of one of the most powerful schools.
Not only is he leading one of the finest wizard education institutions in the world, he's also one of the most powerful sorcerers ever known to man. So it's hard to beat Dumbledore. I'm just gonna go for it and say Timothée Chalamet and Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name, yeah.
Just because it comes to mind, but also.
Why didn't you pick Armie Hammer from that movie?
Armie Hammer, noted cannibal.
Right.
You know about all that?
I heard, but I didn't see. I didn't read about it. But someone said that.
Yeah. So Armie Hammer's been accused by multiple women. It seems, and they have screenshots
of him being a cannibal.
Of him admitting to being a cannibal. So he's weird.
That's a tough break.
I don't see him coming back from.
Yeah.
That's different than all the other stuff.
It's almost
But Timothée Chalamet, that movie. For instance, I don't think you enjoyed that movie. That movie gets made fun of a lot, but
right.
Great performance and a real good capture of what it's like to be young and to be unsure, to be exploring in a moment of exploration, in a moment of self-doubt. I think Timothy captures that beauty. There's the now iconic scene in which he
is that now iconic?
Deposits himself into a peach.
I like that. There were some great shots of like Italy in that movie.
Yeah, it's great summer.
Great ambiance.
That's sort of like what I thought Brokeback. Call Me by Your Name is about like a summer fling,
right?
A fixed period of time. Yeah, good movie. Similar movie. I thought of that a little bit when I was watching Brokeback.
My number 2 is C-3PO.
C-3PO
from the Star Wars. They never say
he's
it.
He's not a human. He doesn't have
He's
sex.
a robot.
He doesn't have sex.
I think him and R2-D2 are implied to be gay lovers.
Oh, R2. Oh, R2. How do you do his voice?
Oh, R2. I am a human cyborg relations. Yeah. And he just has that voice. I think it was very much implied that C-3PO was gay.
I don't know if that's true, but sure, okay. If he was gay, I mean, he helped save the rebellion, so it's hard to.
I mean, thank God. C-3PO. How many times has C-3PO saved the day?
Countless.
I mean, just the fact he's able to translate R2 is kind of a game changer.
The most recent movie, which sucked, The Rise of Skywalker, C-3PO is ready to have his mind erased for the cause. he's willing to give all he can give. The ultimate sacrifice to basically be killed.
Right.
C-3PO is a real one, man. He's an OG.
He's a robot.
Okay? So my number 2 gay character. I watched this movie recently. You may have seen it. It was released on Hulu. It was a holiday movie called Happiest Season.
I did not see that movie.
It was supposed to come out in theaters because of the pandemic. It came out on Hulu. It's Kristen Stewart and I'm forgetting the other. Mackenzie Davis play a lesbian couple, and the idea is Mackenzie Davis invites Kristen Stewart, her girlfriend, to come home for Christmas to meet her family, but then
I saw a trailer for this movie. Yeah,
but then on the ride there, she reveals to Kristen Stewart that her family doesn't know she's gay and that they have to pretend just to be friends on this trip.
Right.
It was a really good movie.
It was.
Yeah, very sweet, but also very funny. My number 2 is Aubry Plaza in that movie. Aubry Plaza plays
lesbian.
Yeah, she's Mackenzie Davis's ex-girlfriend who's like in the hometown, and Kristen Stewart has like a scene. There's this just great scene where they're in a drag karaoke bar or something, and it's Christmas time, and there's just they're all singing this lovely song, and Aubry Plaza is just so charming. I always find her so charming. She
was on Parks and Rec.
Yeah, she's sort of like bitchy sometimes. Like that's sort of like
that's her shtick.
Yeah, but it's like in a charm. I'm a big Aubry Plaza fan, I think, and she's great in that movie.
I don't think I'm able to say I'm a huge Aubry Plaza fan, but I definitely like her when I've seen her.
I have a bit of a crush on Aubry Plaza.
Right. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
My third
Yeah.
favorite gay character, it's got to be Mac from It's Always Sunny.
He's not gay.
He is gay. He's openly gay in the later seasons. Mac and It's Always...
Is he really?
Yeah.
Openly gay in the regular seasons?
He's openly gay in the later seasons, and he does this whole dance, and it's quite a journey his character takes, and it's awesome, actually.
I have not seen all the way through Always Sunny, so I didn't know that.
They kind of always joke around that he's gay. They imply it, and it's sort of like he is, and he denies that he is, and they have fun with that for a while, and then they do that for 9 seasons. And
is
they're
that guy gay? What's his name?
No, he's married to Dee in real life, Rob McElhenney.
So he's just pretending.
Is that right? McElhenney, something like that. Yeah, him. He's married to Dee in real life. Who, I don't know what's happening with her.
Why?
She was on the Mick.
Oh.
And then I think she got for some reason I feel like her face looks weird now.
Yeah.
Like she got plastic surgery or something.
Some Botox gone
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
My number one gay character of all time.
Mm-hmm.
This is tough. I'm just going to go and say Oscar Nunez from The Office.
Oh, you know what? That's a great one.
Great gay character. Great. The episode where he is revealed he's gay is great.
Mm-hmm.
Love the scene where he kissed Michael. I mean, it's cringe. It's hard to watch. It's so uncomfortable. But where Michael forces himself on him.
Oscar remains one of the allies in that show. Yeah.
Yeah, and Oscar's just he has his faults. He's
smart.
A bit of a know-it-all.
He is who he is, but he's smart and you like him.
Yeah, he's a likable guy, just a nice coworker.
Right, exactly. Just great.
Oscar the accountant.
And he's gay.
And that's probably that was probably groundbreaking. It's just to normalize. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, that was 2000. That was around the time Brokeback Mountain came out.
Yeah.
So.
A lot has changed since then. So. Since this movie came out in 2005, think about all that's changed. Now, gay marriage.
Now we can't get away from it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I mean,
now everybody's gay.
Back then, Democrats and Republican, presidential candidates and stuff wouldn't be in favor of gay marriage, both sides. And now it's legal everywhere. And
yeah, the whole society's really changed, and perhaps that's because of the change in the art. The media is just normalizes it, makes it acceptable, and makes a difference in that way.
Yeah, and it's hard. It was hard, homosexuals in the 20th century was incredibly hard. I read a biography of the gay rights activist Frank Kameny called the Deviants' War, and it was so frowned upon. These guys were just having there was so much risk involved. There's a great first chapter of this book where it's gay sex. You would see someone would make eyes at you, so you fall into the bathroom. You think but half the time it's a cop who's gonna arrest you because they're trying to arrest. It was illegal to be gay. Dude,
I think that was actually part of the thrill. I bet that's what people liked, was that it was illicit and wrong and we shouldn't be doing this, and I think that was a real part of it.
Perhaps some people enjoyed that aspect of it, were excited by that, but certainly it's horrible that was the case.
I like how this podcast is we're going back from making jokes about the gay thing and then just being super genuine about but really the force for social change was
I mean, it's good to have a well-rounded conversation.
Exactly. I like it. I like it a lot.
So those are our top 3 gay characters.
Yep.
I will say both Jack Twist. Both Jack Twist and Ennis Del Mar. I mean, definitely on my top 10 after this. Definitely both crack my top 10 gay characters.
Yeah, I would probably say.
So well done.
Especially.
I mean, they're no Oscar Nunez.
Yeah. They're no Oscar Nunez.
So what should the next top 3 be? Let's do top 3 cowboys. How about that?
Top 3. Can I name 3 cowboys? Like our famous cowboys? Who would I name? And we have to name 6.
You have to see if we can do it.
All right, let's try it.
Podcast.
All right.
I'll go first. My number 1 is Woody.
Okay.
Wonderful cowboy.
So these can be like, okay, yeah.
Woody is great.
Fictional.
Andy's favorite toy. The new toys might come in. He might, get some more attention for a little while, but he's always gonna go back to Woody. Those are good movies.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to defend that choice. That's like, yeah, no arguments there. Woody was an incredible cowboy. I would say, I can't even. Are there famous cowboys like Buffalo Bill? How about that?
Oh, like actual,
like an actual cowboys. Yeah.
I mean, fair. Good on you. Yeah, Buffalo. Yep. Well, what did he do?
He was.
Was that even a real person? No, it was not. I think that was like.
No, it was I think
it's like an ad campaign.
I think he was a real person, but it was like, yeah, it was very much, an advertisement for the American West. But nevertheless, I actually probably could name 3 genuine cowboys.
Because you just read a book.
Because I just read it. I was reading.
Comanches. I mean,
about the Comanches. Yeah.
But sure, Buffalo Bill. I mean, one thing that this movie definitely shows is just like how fucking hard it is to be a cowboy. There's scenes where like Jake Gyllenhaal just has like a live sheep hoisted over his shoulders, like crossing a river and shit.
That's rough work.
Yeah, and they're like doing their own lot. They have one pair of thick denim jeans, and they're like washing it in the river, butt naked.
Washing their clothes.
It's tough work. It's not for everyone. Okay, so my next number 2 favorite cowboy, I'm gonna go Django from Django Unchained.
Django Unchained.
Not Untrained, Unchained. Django Unchained.
Would you call him a cowboy?
I think so. He learned.
I'll take it.
He learns to ride a horse. He is the quickest gun in the West. He avenges people. He lives by his own moral code. I don't know if he does much wrangling, but he rides a horse. He in a cowboy hat.
Fair enough. Listen, by that description, it's a a quick gun, rides a horse, wears a cowboy hat, plays by his own moral code. I'm gonna say Indiana Jones.
See that now we're getting pretty loose with the definition.
Yeah.
Is Indiana Jones ever on a horse?
Yes. Last Crusade, he rides a horse next to the tank.
The third movie, it takes 3 movies before he rides a horse. I don't know if he's a cowboy then.
Let's see. Let me think of the first one. No, he rides a horse in the first one too, actually. I think.
But
there's car chases.
He's an archaeologist, though. He has a job title.
He's an archaeologist, but he's also a bit of a cowboy.
You're saying it's a cowboy spirit that he has. Okay, so I have Woody and Django and Django. My 3rd favorite cowboy. If your definition holds, I don't know. I might be pushing it here, but I'll go Han Solo.
Dude, that was gonna be my 3rd. That was my 3rd.
So there's no horses, but I think
but you could
that's
still
okay
say
in this universe because horses don't exist in that galaxy.
He's riding a horse in his own right. That is the Millennium Falcon.
He's riding a falcon, a bird.
Right.
And Chewie's kind of like his horse. He's like the lone. He's the top. The horse.
You think he's having sex with Chewbacca?
Call me by your name.
Just broke back. You're just like, I wish him talking to Chewbacca, man. I wish I knew how to quit you. Just spitting in his hand.
So Han Solo, I think by the end we've really just strayed away from what a cowboy is at this point. But I mean,
I'll bring us back.
He certainly has the cowboy spirit.
I'll bring us back with my with my 3rd one. Marty McFly and Back to the Future Part 3.
I think this has gone off the rails.
Dude, Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh, Part 3. I see.
It's the Wild West.
He's literally a cowboy.
He's literally a cowboy in that movie.
I thought you just were like saying Marty McFly.
No, and it's like every protagonist is a bit of a cowboy. Everyone has a cowboy.
Which is true.
Is true. Everyone's got a cowboy spirit. No, Marty McFly is genuinely a cowboy in the third Part 3 of those.
Yeah, Marty McFly. Back to the Future 3 is weird, but I'm glad it exists.
Not the best one.
I'm glad it exists.
Yeah.
I think. So just to recap, we have my 3 are Woody, Django, and Han Solo.
Mine was who was it?
The historical figure Buffalo Bill.
Oh, Buffalo Bill, an actual Buffalo Bill, a real cowboy. Then Indiana Jones, working off the definition of that you stated before, and then also Marty McFly in Back to the Future Part 3.
So does he ride horse? I don't remember. He rides some horses in that movie.
In the third one, yeah, he rides some horses. He does all the cowboy things to do, gunfights,
Have you
whatever.
ever wanted to be a cowboy?
I think that was maybe a little bit before our time, the whole cowboy thing. I don't know. Like, I do remember, like, a lot of cowboy toys and stuff, but I don't remember, like, much cowboys in my things I was watching in my TV or in my movies.
Yeah, there's like a certain age of, like, little boy where, like, they just, like, become, like, obsessed with professions, different professions. Like, it could be a firefighter or a cowboy or a whatever, policeman or whatever.
Right.
You ever ridden a horse?
Yes, I did. I rode a horse once when I was... Actually, I probably done it when I was a kid more than that, but...
What happened?
I just, like, rode a horse when I was in Idaho. Just on, like, a...
What were you doing in Idaho?
I was just on a trip out there. I went to Yellowstone, and then I went to, like, Montana and Wyoming, and right where this was shot.
Brokeback.
Right, I went to Brokeback for to go fishing with a friend.
Good friend, but
Jack Twist.
named Jack.
His name was Jack Twist.
I know what you were doing, Jack Twist. Shut your damn mouth, woman.
What was funny about this movie was also the accents were like, incredible.
So funny, like Heath Ledger talks so differently, so strangely in this movie. His mannerisms are so weird.
You know what the accent reminded me of? This is like, I don't know if this is whatever, but it reminded me of Mississippi. The actresses when we were shooting in Mississippi, the accents that they were doing.
They're fake accents.
They're fake accents.
Or some of them were really from there, I guess.
Yeah, but that sounded like... I recently rewatched that movie. It sounded like the same accent, which I don't know why. Who's messing up there?
It sounds like Jake Gyllenhaal like doing a southern a good one. He's doing a good job, but he's like doing a southern accent. Heath Ledger's just like, I've never seen any human that speaks. It's such a unique thing he's doing.
Just gravel kind of pouring out of his mouth.
Sort of like Bradley Cooper. You know what? I wish I put Jackson Maine as one of my favorite cowboys. But whatever, I'm sure he'll come up. But
I don't want any more beans.
God damn it, Ennis! I don't want any more beans.
That would have been a top three forms of beans, bean dishes.
Pinto bean.
Yeah, you could just name types of beans. The jelly bean.
Jelly bean. That would have been a good pick. So who's the Cowboys you think win in a fight?
Out of our Cowboys. One of my Cowboys has a time machine.
Does Marty McFly have the time machine in that movie, or is he trying to get
he's friends with Doc, who has the time machine.
I'm sure they lose the time machine. I'm sure they get stuck there at some point.
See, the issue is really getting it up to 88 miles an hour.
One of mine is a fucking spaceship captain.
Yeah, Han Solo.
And the other one is the quickest gun in the West.
So here's
my third one is a toy. Sure.
We're gonna have Harrison Ford is in both of our lists.
I think Han Solo kills Indiana Jones. He has laser guns.
I guess you're right. He has laser guns, but also,
does Indiana Jones shoot people?
Indiana Jones shoots people. He has a gun.
Does he shoot people though?
Yeah. There's that scene where he pulls out the sword and he goes.
I've never seen Indiana Jones.
And he just shoots him. He shoots. He'll kill people.
I think Django.
He lives by his own moral code.
I think Django's the quickest gun in the West, and I have a Woody.
Yeah. Then you also have a toy.
But it's just my two guys are really strong.
And then I think Buffalo Bill would probably not stand a chance.
He's just not equipped for modern cinematic cowboyness.
Though maybe if the fight took place on the open plain, on wherever, or in the mountains, someone who's actually from there.
Someone who actually knows the plains.
Someone who actually knows,
not
how to handle themselves.
From a different galaxy and a Django who's never left.
And where does Indiana Jones take place? I mean, it takes place all over, but like, where's he live? Where's the
live?
school he works at? It's in California.
Yeah. See, I think yeah, I mean, like in an adrenaline situation, I know he does some cool stuff, but I mean, Indiana Jones is a professor. He's not a day-to-day he doesn't have that cowboy toughness of being a cowboy every day. He's a college professor / archaeologist.
That's true, but he always finds a way to. He's more of an adrenaline junkie for adventure. You know, he likes to get into adventure, but he's always able to get himself out of sticky situations. So I think he's a slippery guy to try to kill.
He's a slippery cat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Those are my final thoughts on Brokeback Mountain.
All right, so should I reveal what we'll be watching next?
Yeah, let's hear what we're going to be watching next week.
Do a drum roll. Okay, so we're going to be watching, it's going to be on Netflix. We're going to be watching Superbad.
Superbad.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Great movie. We've both seen it.
So we'll be rewatching it for the first time. But maybe our opinion will change in this viewing from the last time we saw it, or who knows what direction it will be.
Superbad.
Yeah.
All right. That's an easy watch.
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch that again. So go watch Superbad on Netflix.
If anyone does listen to this, it would be better if you did watch these movies with us, because
I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you how to listen. Sometimes it's like, oh, I've never seen this, but maybe you can still glean something from.
But we spoil it.
We spoil it, so you have to be okay with spoilers. But some people are.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's actually better to have a movie spoiled before you see it. I think there was a study that's like it's actually more enjoyable if you know the ending of a movie before you watch the movie. But if you find out the ending when you're halfway through the movie, it ruins it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
all right,
in
everybody.
conclusion,
Sweet streams.
Have a great night. Get to bed safe and have some sweet streams. Good night.
Congrats to Tom Brady. The Buccaneers.
Sweet streams.